This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance at nhliberty.org. I'm standing here with Lisa, who is, you were a state rep candidate, weren't you, in Manchester?
No, an
or something?
alderman.
Alderman candidate. How'd you do?
Manchester. I lost. I got 41% of the vote, but I was a loser.
Yeah, good start. But you were in there and you saw pretty much the whole thing, correct?
Yes.
And what was your, what was your thought on the forum?
Well, I mean, it was very clear where they were going with stuff, that they wanted an income tax or a sales tax or something to that effect, you know. I don't know. That was just what was going through my head the whole time, is I know where this is going. You know, they want more money. They're not getting enough money from property taxes and blah, 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 blah.
Do you have any concerns about the format in terms of, you know, not really being able to stand up and harangue directly?
I thought it was kind of interesting. I saw when people were handing their questions down that the woman would actually read the question, then she would go over to the guy and talk to him, and they would discuss it, da-da-da, and then they would kind of shuffle the cards around. You know, before they handed them to the guy to ask the question or whatever. So that was kind of interesting.
What do you think ought to be done to stop these folks?
I think sunlight is the best deterrent, and I think that we need to keep showing up to these things and let them know that, you know what, we're not interested. We're not interested in you taxing us more, and don't try to sneak it through because we're watching you. And
well,
I think that's
one thing that might help too is if everybody brought cameras and audio recorders and just, I don't try to tape entire meetings or something like that. It'd be really useful to have someone just putting audio recorders on all of these meetings.
Well, I actually did bring one, but I don't know, it was kind of nothing. I felt like I wanted to tape. I didn't feel like it.
It's
I mean,
boring,
I don't know, you look kind of for
scandalous
gotcha
things
moments,
here
I
and there,
suppose,
yeah.
and I felt like it was very controlled. It was a very controlled, except for the one guy that got a little upset.
He was
his name is Gene. He got a little upset because I think he saw his question probably had gotten shoved to the bottom of the pile. This is my guess. I don't know.
The
Sure.
Obama town hall MO.
right.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Lisa.
All right, thanks, Dave. I'm sure I'll be seeing you.
Yeah, more than likely.
Where are we? Mark.
Senator Hammond, did you sign the pledge to not vote for a sales or income tax?
Like the kid, you know, who hides.
I don't do pledges. I don't know that. No, we gotta have an open discussion about how we're gonna fund the things we need.
Well, I appreciate you being open about your position. Not everybody is.
Yeah. No, and it's not just that.
We need to get out of the library though, because they're closing at 9 o'clock.
I can interview you on the run.
The taxpayers only leave the library open until 9.
In one of my towns, I have construction workers who've been unemployed in the past couple of years because of the housing bubble burst. And in that same town, the property taxes went up 20% in the past year because of a perfect storm of new schools, the rich town pulling out of the district, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think people who are unemployed should have their taxes go up.
Right.
And we can't deal with that kind of relief just with the property tax. We have to have other revenue streams. And
well, now, but aren't you advocating an additional burden on the taxpayers in New Hampshire?
how so?
Well, if you want an open discussion about new sources of revenue, correct? Am I correct when I say it that way? Well, then isn't that, I mean...
I can stop if you want.
Oh, okay, thanks. Are you willing, I mean, are you advocating new taxes?
Yes.
Why? I mean, is that right? Is it ever moral to do?
Because if we had an income tax, we could build in substantial personal deductions to protect people with low and moderate incomes, so they would not be overtaxed. A tax bill last year had personal exemptions at $15,000 per adult and $5,000 per child. So a family with an income of $40,000 had wouldn't pay any taxes, wouldn't pay an income tax. But an income tax may bring in, I'm not sure what the estimates are, may bring in $900 million or $1 billion.
Why not cut, though? I mean, the state's going out there and arresting people for having the wrong plant in their house. For driving suspended, you can get 6 months in jail. That's all taxpayer expenditures. Why not just cut that?
Oh, God, this is, what do I do that for?
No, you know.
Good luck. You can always find silly little examples of something that
it's
may or may...
It's not silly little if you're in jail for 6 months.
I don't know enough about individual cases to make any kind of judgment about that stuff, first of all. And if you want to talk about weird little things that cost money that shouldn't, you're going to find those kinds of things in any kind of system. Sure. Now, you want to talk about having a fair tax burden on people who are unemployed, on people who are on fixed incomes, on people who now have jobs where they're making, 60% of what they used to make after they were unemployed for 9 months? Our property taxes do nothing but go up. And unless we want to replace it with a tax revenue stream that really focuses on paying people, or on taxing people according to their ability to pay, and an income tax is the most direct way to do that, we'll never get anywhere. And if we had an income tax, if we had an expanded statewide property tax, we can build in substantial personal deductions, we can build in homestead exemptions, we can build in circuit breakers and protect all those people with low and moderate income, no matter what their age, no matter what their working situation is, no matter what their income stream is.
Well,
whether it's small business or fixed income or, or a wage job at Walmart.
Well, Representative Hammond, I may not like your thinking, but I appreciate your accessibility.
Thank you. And can I ask who you're recording for?
It's Dave Ridley with RidleyReport.com.
And you?
It's New Hampshire's second most popular YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, right behind Channel 9. So, but they get a lot more broadcast than I do. So.
Well, that's the one thing we don't look at in the state at all, is how to protect low and moderate income households from overtaxation. And you saw the chart. You know that the lowest 20% pay the highest rate in taxes in this state. And I think the only way to get those with higher incomes to pay their fair share is to do it through an income tax.
All right. Well, you haven't got me one over, but take care.
Okay. Well, here's hoping your property taxes don't go up.
Let's not add more taxes.
If you were to go to the State House and do this, then you would step on the toes of a Liberty Alliance member, because they're all over the place at the State House. They are there fighting for your freedom, and they need your help. Visit the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance at nhliberty.org and join them. Or maybe I should say, join us, because I am a member. nhliberty.org. By the way, if you haven't moved to New Hampshire yet, this is just another glimpse of what you're missing.